Warriors, there is a truth that many overlook, a command given not to burden us, but to protect us on the battlefield of life. It is a warning about alliances, about the bonds we form, the partnerships we choose, and the relationships we allow to shape us. Not all alliances strengthen you. Some will weaken your resolve, distract your focus, and pull you away from the mission the King has entrusted to you. This is the danger of being unequally yoked. The scriptures warn us plainly, do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? 2 Corinthians 6:14. A yoke binds two together, forcing them to move in the same direction. But if one pulls toward righteousness and the other toward sin, the result is division, frustration, and failure. To be unequally yoked is to form a bond or partnership with someone who does not share your faith, your values, or your mission. This applies to every area of life, friendships, business, and especially marriage. Imagine two oxen yoked together. But one is strong and determined, while the other is weak and wandering. They cannot walk in unity, one slows the other, and both fail to move forward. This is not about arrogance or judgment, it is about wisdom and obedience. When you bind yourself to someone who does not share your faith, their influence can pull you away from the truth. You may think you are strong enough to resist, but over time their direction becomes yours. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. When you yoke yourself to someone who does not walk with God, you may be tempted to compromise your beliefs, to maintain peace or unity. Little by little, you may find yourself making small allowances until your faith is diluted and your witness weakened. The mission of a warrior of God is to advance his kingdom. An unbeliever's mission may be entirely different. When your purposes conflict, the result is division, frustration, and stagnation. Can two walk together unless they are agreed? Amos 3:3. The enemy uses unequally yoked relationships to sow doubt, distraction, and division. What begins as a small compromise can grow into a deep spiritual drift, pulling you further from God's will for your life. Warriors, you are called to stand apart, to live differently, to be holy as the King is holy. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. 1 Peter 2:9. This does not mean isolation. It means choosing relationships that strengthen your walk with God, not hinder it. Jesus himself spent time with sinners, but he was never yoked to them. His purpose was to lead them to repentance, not to join them in their ways. You too must engage the world without becoming bound to it. The yoke you bear must lead you toward God, not away from him. Surround yourself with those who share your faith, who encourage you to grow, who hold you accountable, and who strengthen you for the fight. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. If you are considering a relationship or partnership, ask yourself these questions. Does this person share my faith? Do they encourage me to draw closer to God? Are they committed to the same mission? If the answer is no, then the yoke is unequal, and it will hinder, not help, your walk with the King. Sometimes, warriors, the hardest battles are the ones we fight within. Breaking a bond that is unequally yoked may feel painful, but it is necessary for your spiritual health and your mission. Remember, obedience to God always leads to blessing, even when it costs you in the moment. Trust the King's wisdom. He sees what you cannot, he knows the path ahead, and his commands are given to protect you, not to harm you. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future, said Jeremiah 29:11. Finally, remember this. Your ultimate yoke is with Christ himself. He calls you to walk with him, to let him bear your burdens, to follow his lead. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Matthew 11:29. This yoke is not heavy. It is life-giving. It is the bond that strengthens, guides, and equips you for every battle. So warriors, I challenge you, choose your yokes wisely. Do not be bound to relationships that weaken your faith or pull you from your mission. Walk with those who share your purpose, your values, and your commitment to the King. And above all, be yoked to Christ, for his way is the path to victory, and his strength is sufficient for every battle. Stand apart, stand strong, and let every step you take be in unity with the one who leads you to life eternal.